All right, so locally recording, Crimson, what is up? Where are you coming from again?
I'm in the Austin Convention Center right after day 2 of Five Gods before the final top 8 day, and just finished cleaning up the room and kind of closing down. Everyone's about to head to the Twitch party. People are getting cleaned up, and so I have like about 20, maybe 30 minutes to talk before I head over.
Dang, I'm so jealous of you guys. I was so tempted to fly after taking care of things this week in NorCal.
Yeah, there's a lot of good events going on. There's also this weekend coming up. If you guys want to watch, Final Round is happening in Atlanta. So just keep that on your radar, guys.
Too much melee. So, round two pulls, we finally go from day one to day two, where the god streak of set wins from the gods gets broken. PPMD loses his first set against West Balls. From round one pulls, nothing other than that really seemed too surprising to you, did it?
I think no, I disagree. I think a lot seems some pride. Now, obviously, the West Balls one was huge. I think MacD 3-0ing Axe
Oh yeah, that too.
was pretty huge. That knocked Axe out in probably his worst finish um, ever. I mean, what does that put him at? Like that, he got like 15th, 16th
16th.
place.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think he's gone 17th once or twice. It's up there in terms of
it's up
bad performance.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, it's sort of weird because end of the day, if you're thinking about double elimination bracket where he'd normally be seated like somewhere between 5 to 10, depending on who's there at an event, his bracket looks a little different than a round robin where he basically effectively lost to Mango and won, another top 20 player. And what I mean is that with regular seeding, that is a ninth place for Axe, and MacD makes top 8 because he gets seeded so high.
Yeah,
So
makes
that puts
sense.
it a little bit into perspective, but it's also kind of cool to see too because one criticism some people have of the tournament formats with double elimination is that seeding is really, really important. It's kind of what Connor says about MYM conspiracy hashtag because he says that basically when you're in the top 100 and you're really high up there, you're going to have a much easier road, and so your lows are going to be a lot less than other people. So, for example, how well would PPMD do regularly if he was given MacD's bracket versus what he's usually given, which is a top 5 seed, right?
Yeah.
And in this one, we were seeing people treated, in a round robin form. They got to play each other, and we got a lot of results that we probably didn't expect. Um, Especially since the format has a natural tendency to just pile it on. When you're playing bad, you play bad in a double elimination format. Whatever. You made it through losers. You're still in top 8. You have tomorrow to look forward to. Here, PB has a bad day, and he just loses like the 5 worst losses he has like in his history.
Yeah. But like in
All back to back, all back to back to back to back. Like it's
but
like
but in round one pulls, so we can kind of close it. Other than the Axe set where he loses to MacD and the PPMD West Bowl set, I don't really see anything that was like terribly surprising. Some minor upsets, Hugo being Zach was a little bit of an upset, but nothing really like dramatic.
Nothing dramatic. I didn't expect Shroom to be lucky, especially the way he did. I wouldn't call that dramatic, and it's barely an upset, but I
Yeah.
thought that set was quite interesting too. I think not an upset, but how well Dragon Fox played with his new Fox, was also quite an eye opener.
I mean, he's always been playing Fox though.
I mean, he was originally a Fox main, as people know, but I don't think I think for that portion of his career, he wasn't as well known or didn't have the results that his Sheik had gained. And I personally thought that his Fox did as well as his Sheik might have done.
Yeah,
So
I agree. A lot of close games, and those sets could have gone the other way, and Drug Fox could have made it out. Just if you
I
just
think if
played
he
a little bit
won,
better.
yeah, if he won one more game or something, he was in. Like so, he
Yeah.
was he was right on the razor's edge. So he almost made it. Um, a lot of tons of close melee. It's a lot of good sets to watch again for like melee fiends out there who just want to see good gameplay. I think what was cool is obviously in the round robin format you see a lot of matches which are quote unquote they don't matter, or they don't really affect the outcome much. Like I think Estrogen and Ten Dude comes to mind. For Hugs, he had nothing to play for against SFAT, but I love the professionalism from all the players that they actually gave it their all in all those scenarios.
Yeah. And I think that actually helps certain people with like Kevin and Johnny who just realize, hey, like there's nothing to lose. I think it helped them.
Yeah, kind of loosened them up, right?
Yeah. So it's interesting from like a psychological standpoint, from a mindset standpoint, what they take away from that match, saying like, "Hey, like I played a lot better today. Let's see if I can replicate that."
Yeah.
So round robins, the playoff round, right, with the 5 people.
Mm.
Obviously, PPMD looked like he was struggling, like just energy wise. If you just looked at him on the camera, can you give a little bit more insight on that since you were there?
I know he's obviously he's posted about some of his issues with his health. He's actually been sick on top of that recently, so I think that's a big part of it. At the same time, like day one, he was looking really good. I think day two just kind of wore on him. He was really, really hoping to beat Wes, and then when he didn't, and he saw that he had to play 5 more sets against top 20 players, I think it was really daunting for him.
Yeah,
Knowing his health condition, and knowing how his endurance can be pretty low. So he took one to the chin. It's a hard one to take, but knowing him, he's got as much fire and passion about this community and game as anybody. So I'm really excited to see a bounce back from this.
yeah,
I think Mango even tweeted about it, like, "No, dude, this can't not like this. Just not like this is all I gotta say. Like,
yeah,
we can't have this end like this."
yeah. I mean, that's the hope, right? It's really hard. I don't really ever see like a person who's not a PPMD fan. Like, have you ever seen PPMD haters in the chat or anything? I think we collectively, as a community, want him to come back.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a moderator, you got to ban that person, right? That's the rule.
Of course, of course.
He's a PPMD. You got to love him. He's a great, great guy.
So it's unfortunate. I mean, I didn't think it was actually going to be this bad. I didn't think he was going to lose, 1-4 or get swept. So that was definitely really surprising for me.
And you know what? You can't take it away from his opponents, but I think there was a lot to do with his own condition, especially.
Can we talk about one player that really stuck out to me? Have you ever seen MacD play this well?
No. I think this is MacD's greatest performance. It's a real shame he didn't make it into the top 8. So I'm assuming he would have just been picked by Hungrybox. So he would have had a rough go anyway. But I think he made his mark this tournament. Ultimately he lost by a game count to Silent Wolf, so he didn't make it. But he has so many good wins, like 3-0 on Axe, like really dominating. The only real set that I thought that he could have done better at was Silent Wolf, where he got 3-0'd. But the rest of them very competitive, very very well played. I think he really impressed everyone. I think when I looked at the Smash GG rankings, he for like the fantasy rankings, he was the lowest picked.
Yeah.
And actually, that didn't, like when I saw it, I was like, I guess I could see why people would say that. But then he was a monster, so he proved a lot of people wrong.
Yeah. If we were to look over his resume today, this weekend, he 3-0'd Axe. He demolished Wobbles, and who else did he beat? He 3-0'd PPMD. Really impressive weekend, in my opinion.
I agree. This was definitely MacD's tournament.
And then what was also interesting was I think what I really loved from this round 2 pools was the grit of Otto Silent Wolf, because he loses that set to Plup, and all of a sudden, he's in this 0-2 hole, and it's like, oh great, like, I could have been 1-1 had I not like done that SD and then let Plup take the set from my hands, and then he comes back and ends up winning or getting out.
Yeah, I think Otto's had a lot of bad breaks. And I think when you have a lot of bad breaks in your Melee career and you face that kind of loss, you get used to it and are able to bounce back from it a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
So those kind of losses make you stronger in many ways. And I think he didn't want to lose, so he gave it a shot, and he ended up just taking the next 2 sets. So it was he barely skated by, but he did just enough to make it.
Yeah. Now, so we see Wobbles, who made it out, and I think these high pressure scenarios favor characters that can, find zero to death opportunities. But was there any difference in the top three that gets seeded, or is it regardless of what seed you are, you're just kind of at the hands of what the other people want in terms of opponent?
Yeah, it's whoever gets picked.
Okay, so just
So
for everybody here, can you just explain the format on which three people get the pick and why?
sure. And I'm just going off what some of the good game guys are telling me. So apologies if I'm not 100% accurate, but I'm kind of just being I'm just the messenger here, guys. Um, the first pick should be H box,
Why is that over
and
a Mewtwo King?
so basically this is interesting to note is they had the same game count and the same stock count, you know,
Yeah.
between all the games.
Oh, stock
Uh,
count too?
yeah, everything was crazy.
Wow.
Um, and then they talked about it and they were like, well, who are you gonna pick? Basically, HBox and Mewtwo King talked about it, and they both were like gonna pick different people, and they actually both wanted different spots in the bracket. So basically, this surprised me. Mewtwo would prefer to have Armada as a second round opponent, and HBox preferred to have Mango as a second round opponent. He didn't want to play Armada. So basically, HBox was like, okay, since Armada's fourth seed, since Armada's third seed, Mewtwo has second, and HBox has first. So they basically, they worked it out as
So if
effectively.
Mango lost one last game against Axe, he could have been a guy that picked his opponent.
If Mango lost one, I think so, man. It's really complicated.
Yeah, that's so crazy. So also to alleviate some confusion here, is Hungrybox allowed to pick Mango or West Balls?
He's allowed to pick West Balls, but I don't believe he's allowed to pick Mango. He can
What?
pick from the bottom four.
Wait, why is that?
I don't know, dude. He picks. I think, from my understanding, he picks from the bottom four.
Okay, that's unfair to West Balls in my opinion. But anyway, so what's our picks, right? So we have the bottom four, Hungry Box, and then we have West Balls, Wobbles, Plup, and Silent Wolf. Now,
I want to
obviously,
emphasize though that is from my understanding, and if I'm absolutely wrong, you can blame me. Don't blame the TOs or anyone else.
okay. Well, this is really confusing. So we're gonna go based on your assumptions. It makes sense. It's
Yes.
reasonable. Hungry Box clearly would not want to play Plup. They're Florida. Why would they want to eliminate it? So that leaves West Balls, Wobbles, and Silent Wolf.
Yeah, I think HBox is going to pick Wobbles. So I think the whole Armada picking Wobble thing, hilariously enough, is not going to happen. I think
Um,
HBox is going to pick him.
well, aren't Hungry Box and Wobbles friends? So like, when he want to pick somebody that may not be a friend of H Box?
Maybe. I mean, who else do you think is going to pick West Balls?
Well, because there could be a scenario here of like a little bit of minor collusion here, where Hungrybox and Wobbles seem to be friendly, and then he'd rather want like Wobbles to go into the fate of another player. Well, actually, most likely,
No, I mean if he's friends with the best thing he could do for Wobbles is pick Wobbles, so Wobbles doesn't get Armada, because
but
Mewtwo is not picking Wobbles. I guarantee you.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
So trust me, if they're homies, HBox is picking Wobbles.
Okay,
Wobbles wants to get picked by HBox.
so I'm gonna swap Mango and Mewtwo King in the bracket. So it's gonna be the winner of H Box and Wobbles and whoever Mango gets. Now, second pick is Mewtwo King.
Mewtwo King is assuredly picking Plup. He destroys him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't really see any other pick he'd do.
West Balls?
No. I doubt it. You think Mewtwo is gonna pick a Falco? Is that
No.
what you think?
No. Okay. And he's not going to pick Auto, which is pretty automatic. Armada, this is interesting. West Balls or Silent Wolf? I'm looking West Balls here.
I think he's gonna pick West Balls. Silent Wolf gave him a really close run at Evo.
And took
they're
a game
set,
today.
and they're set. Yeah, exactly. They're set in the actual Five Gods tournament. Was decently close, so I'm pretty confident he's gonna pick West.
Well, what if Armada hates Mango and says that West Balls can eliminate Mango, and so he would take the slight hit in Silent Wolf?
I doubt it. I mean, the reason I doubt it is because they're on the opposite sides of the bracket, and I think that he's like, well, you put Mango in losers, and I'm not even sure if that's a good thing. And also, like again, Mango would have to make it past 2 rounds anyways to get to Armada, right? So I I don't know. I don't see that. Like at the moment, Acebox will just take out Mango, right? So why is
Yeah.
he worried about giving himself a disadvantage just to
Oof.
screw Mango? I
Those are
don't see
the
it.
those are the fighting words. Um, okay, what are the odds we give for round one? $100 wobbles. I haven't recalled the $100 losing to an ice climber since 3 years ago, EVO
Well, I
2013.
mean, he hasn't lost to one in a while. He also hasn't had that many matchups against them, but historically, he's been a very weak matchup for him. He's lost to every single one, just about.
Yeah, but he hasn't
Uh,
lost since 2013.
but how many sets has he had since then? Not
He's
that
been
many.
he's been every but he's been Nintendo quite a few times. He's been Chew the last few times. Beat
Okay,
Wobbles this
well,
time.
I think I mean, how many times has he played Wobbles is a big one. Wobbles or Fly, like, I think
Yeah, but $100 has destroyed
relatively.
Fly every single time since Big House
Yeah,
3.
it has been worse. Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I think he's gonna pick him. So, I mean, another thing with this pick 'em format is it's naturally gonna have the most lopsided matchups possible,
Yeah.
right? Because people are gonna pick their best opponent. Um, so yeah, I mean, I would say stuff like soft 80-20, maybe 75-25 to HBox favor. Probably 80-20, just
Okay.
80-20.
We'll go 80-20.
Yeah, I would try to push for 3-1 odds if I was a betting man.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is pretty lopsided. I would do 5-1. I think it's an
You think
83%.
you think it's that bad? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, considering it was a 3-0 today,
It was a 3-0.
like if
But
it were,
Wobbles is a man on fire. Wobbles is really good. He's a man on fire who still lost, but he's a man
yeah.
on fire.
Mango Silent Wolf. This is interesting. Otto's been playing. I think he's playing on the idea that he's on borrowed time and like he like made it in. So I actually don't know what Otto's thinking right now.
I think the curious thing about that is that Mango's been mostly going Fox. I think he's been going all Fox, right? Yeah, he went all Fox.
Yeah.
And I've been watching his friendlies. It's pretty much all Fox. And I think it'd be interesting if he goes Fox Dittos, which I'm not nearly as confident in him against Silent Wolf than if it was Falco Fox.
If it was
Um,
Falco Fox, I think it's pretty good for
it's
Mango.
Yeah, I think Falco Fox is like 80-20. Um, but Fox
70,
Dittos, Fox Dittos
75%.
for Fox Dittos, I think Fox Dittos are way worse. I have no idea who wins the Fox Ditto. Like that might be 50-50.
Are you
Otto's
kidding?
amazing. Otto's pretty freaking good at Fox Dittos.
So would you give me 1-1 odds and I get to bet Mango?
No,
How about if I gave you 2-3 odds or 3-2?
something like that. I probably would. Yeah.
Then that sounds like a
If it was a
60-40.
Fox, if it was a 60-40, I think if it's a Fox Ditto, um, which I hope Mango. I mean, for Mango's sake, at least, I don't think he should do. I think he should go Falco.
But he
Um,
has $100 immediately.
yeah, I mean, he hates switching characters, so we might. I like it. Literally, we might see the Fox Ditto because of that. But I'd be scared of playing Otto and a Fox Ditto.
I don't know. I think 60-40 just seems a little low. Like I would actually feel comfortable giving you at least two
Didn't
to one.
I mean, so against SFAT, Otto played Fox Ditto, correct?
Yeah,
Earlier this event. Was it SFAT who won 3-2?
yeah, you did.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe Otto is strong in the Fox Ditto. SFAT is too, but it's like I think that the Fox Ditto Master jokes are great and all, but I don't like. There's not that much results backing it up, right? Like he has done well occasionally.
Mango's like Mango could have the bragging rights the last sets of against Armada and Leffen though.
I mean, do you really want to go into your first match of a day as a Fox Ditto against Silent Wolf?
The
Just,
silent. I mean, but if we're also factoring the stage factor, like who's more comfortable on that, Mango or Otto?
dude, does Otto choke?
Um, every top 8 scenario seems to have him on the
I
embarrassing
I,
end
I
of.
I think he gets it's very unfortunate, but I don't know if I see him choking. like he gets like crazy shined or like some weird thing happens, but I don't know if he chokes.
I mean, I would honestly feel comfortable giving you 2-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would bet
No, I
2-1.
mean,
I would bet 2-1 with you right now, and I think it's a fair bet.
I think it's the most interesting matchup of that top 8. If we're right about predicting the top 8.
All right, Armada West Falls. This is like a 95 to.
95.5, be 98.2.
Dude, did I tell you I had a really hard time doing the money?
This is
The
this is this is one of those where like the odds are so lopsided that no one takes the bet.
I mean, yeah. Which side says no here? Like, because how many sets? I mean, I've been wondering, and I may have to do the research on this, but how many sets against top 15 level players has Armada played since he lost to Amsa in like 2010?
A lot,
And
a lot,
how many has
hundreds,
he
hundreds,
lost?
a zero, right? So yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now West Falls is ascending, and he'll continue to get better. But Armada is like really diligent, right? Like I mean, I think we saw it in the pool stage. He takes all his opponents really seriously. He's probably gonna research West a little bit tonight, if he plans on picking him. And that's another advantage, right? West is going into tonight not knowing who he's gonna play,
Yeah.
whereas Armada knows he's gonna be able to pick somebody.
I mean, even in just
So
games alone, like Armada's 18-2 in games.
yeah, it's bad.
It's like really lopsided. If these sets that Armada is collectively 10-0 against West Falls. Like, if these sets were close, like, if it was, like, 3-2 or something, like, the
Yeah.
fact of the matter that we remember that camping game as, like, one of West Falls' hallmarks, and the fact that, like, we can't really account for more than that is, like, a really,
The reason why
really
we can't
troublesome.
remember is just it was just a combo video. The rest of their history is a combo video.
Yeah.
No, I mean we're being really harsh to Wes. I think that like maybe he worked on it and it'll work. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he did take a game last time.
Yeah, but it's clearly his nightmare matchup. Like he would play any of the other the other six far closer.
But to
Like
but to be fair, other than, like, Mango, Hungrybox, and Leffen, like, who do we give better than a 10% shot at beating Armada right now?
yeah, nobody.
Like,
That's
and
the point, right? That's the whole point.
and that's
That's
like
the whole Armada thing.
that's a crazy thought, right? Because if we're doing relatively speaking, because we could say like Armada is like a 98% favorite against West Balls, and it's like, oh wow, that sounds ludicrous. But then when you really think about it, like, who has a better than a 1 out of 20 chance?
1 out of 20. That's 5%.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. 95%.
All
95.
right, Muti King Plup. This is like also incredibly lopsided.
Yeah, if you guys missed out on the week before the Florida Weekly, that was like a destruction of epic proportion. There's like also the Smash and Splash set. We saw Plup go Samus because the Sheik Dittos have been so bad in Five Gods already. That actually might be his best shot. I don't know. Maybe then again, maybe he learned his lesson. Like you just can't be Mewtwo with Samus. But maybe he'll go Fox. Maybe we'll see Plup Fox come out because that's like his third best character. But I don't see him winning a Sheik Ditto. Not anytime soon. He might just do it to learn. Samus, the matches are closer than the Sheik Ditto, so it's probably his best chance to win. And Fox, like, I mean, it's his third best character. Maybe he could do it. I don't know. But it's unlikely. We think he's not really, he doesn't really lose to Foxes.
So why is Westfall's tweeting out that he's most likely to play
Fair.
Mango?
He probably thinks the picks are different.
Okay.
He probably thinks because what if I guess maybe he thinks Armada's gonna pick Silent Wolf or like I don't see how he falls to past Armada.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know.
Like I the only way he falls past Armada is if Armada picks Wobbles instead. Like if HBox doesn't if HBox takes Silent Wolf or something, which I think would be crazy, then yeah, maybe. But I don't see that happening. I'm pretty confident this is actually going to be what the top 8 is, but maybe our intuition will be wrong. They'll all pick some crazy stuff.
Yeah, that'd be so funny.
Yeah.
And in me taking Plup, I think Plup is good against the majority of the field. It's just the one matchup that is absolutely not in his favor.
Yeah, he's actually great against the whole field. I just think maybe he hasn't played Sheik long enough, or Mewtwo knows some intricacies, but he can't really win that one. And his secondary, which is usually really good at covering his Sheik's weaknesses, is very poor at covering against another Sheik.
Yeah.
uh, so he's stuck in a really rough spot in the Mewtwo King matchup in particular.
Dang, it's unfortunate because like this is one of those cases where like the field does better against Mewtwo King than Plup does, like on average.
Uh, yeah, maybe. I mean, Plup's gotten really, really good. But regardless, I mean, he like long term, he can't go into tournaments expecting to win if he has no answer to Mewtwo King.
Yeah.
That's just part of it, right? Like you're going to sometimes match up with your bad matchup, and you know what? In many ways, I think fans of the game or spectators and all that, like we all kind of sigh when we see, oh no, we want to see more Wobbles. Why does he have to go against MacD or Armada or
Yeah.
something like that? But dude, that's like part of it. That's like if he wanted that to stop, he should probably have a secondary
Dude, you guys gave
because
Mewtwo King the freest route to this point in bracket.
Mewtwo King, yeah, he's had a pretty free route.
He got the freest route out of everybody, which is fine. You know, we built his confidence. But anyway, so given this bracket, who do we think plays out here? I mean, I think we collectively think the four quote unquote gods are gonna make it out, and then HBox
Yeah.
Mango, Armada, Mewtwo King. We're gonna do the easier one first. Armada, Mewtwo King, right? Armada.
Um, Armada Mewtwo King is gonna be Armada almost assuredly. So Armada Winners Finals is where I would lock it.
Yeah. HBox Mango. HBox has won the last 4 of 5.
That one could go either way. I still say. I mean, it's HBox favor because of recent results. Assuming Genesis 3 is aberration, just because he did SD. So I mean, if fan you take HBox, but it's still Fox buff, man.
Yeah.
So I and it's it's obviously I guess a god v god. So
All right. So, do you know your bracketology? I forget how the losers play out. Wobbles and Silent Wolf would play each other most likely if they lose out to $100 and Mango because they're on the same side.
correct.
And in Westfall's Club. So Wobbles or
Mhm.
Silent Wolf.
Wobbles.
All right. I just don't have any.
Silent Wolf
confidence.
is really, really, really bad against Ice Climbers. That was we saw in the Five Gods group,
I
the playoff
agree.
group.
Westfall's Club.
West Balls.
Wait, really?
It's really close. I know Plup has more of an advantage, but dude,
I
I like how West is playing lately.
I just the last few times I've watched him play, it just didn't seem like he didn't have an answer to Plup.
No, I know what you're saying. Like I said, I know statistically Plup is probably called the favorite, but I've I'm talking about just being in person this weekend and seeing West play and seeing how he's handled the group stage and everything.
But Plup has also been playing amazing.
I guess.
All right,
I mean, has he? Do you think he has? I mean, he lost to Wobbles. He lost to Mewtwo King. Um, that's not exactly. I mean, he's beating people he's supposed to beat. He's a top 8 player in the world.
I mean, isn't he always supposed to beat Westballs given the history?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about always though. It's those things change.
The last 4 times, yeah.
Yeah. And no, I prefaced my West prediction with saying I know the statistics are in Plup's favor right now.
Okay.
That's
but fair.
I'm specifically talking about what I'm seeing in person and like the observations I'm making, their relative skills of play.
That's fair. Okay, you know more than I do, obviously, because you're physically there, so you get more of the.
Yeah, I mean they're all playing like friendlies for like 10 hours a day.
All right. So okay, so let me think about the bracketology of this. So, if Wobbles wins, he plays the loser of Armada Mewtwo King, I think, because that's how the.
That's a flip. That's a flip from the other side.
Yeah, and then Plup or Westballs would play Mango if we think Mango's going to lose, which is actually really interesting.
Yeah. So loser Mango HBox can pay that. Yeah.
All right. The easier side is Mewtwo King Wobbles. Who's your pick?
Mewtwo King Wobbles. Man, that's tough, huh?
It is.
That's super tough. So Nintendo kind of got rocked by the Mewtwo King Peach.
Yeah.
But Nintendo was also notoriously sick this weekend. I know there was a few tweets. I think MacD tweeted out or something. But dude, he was like puking. It was like bad.
Yeah.
And I know like people are gonna look at his performance and be like, oh, Nintendo got rocked, but it's like, dude, he was really sick. Like he was really really sick. He tried to just tough it out. Uh, Sometimes that stuff doesn't really translate to the camera, but um,
Yeah. He looked kind of
trust me,
pale.
guys.
He looked kind of
Yeah,
pale.
trust me, guys. He was very sick, and he was just going
Um,
up there. So I don't know how much weight to put into that, right? Like I don't know if Music King's gotten any better at the Ice Climber matchup, which he's been struggling with.
well, to be
So
fair, he did beat Wobbles last time in PAX.
that's true. That's
Um,
true.
I think the one thing
Though
that
that was really close, and Wobbles did some sick stuff.
it was 3-1 though.
I also feel like Wobbles now looks a lot better than Pax Wobbles.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, I think the main thing that Nintendo pointed out is that Mewtwo is a lot difficult to deal with when Mewtwo doesn't just play defensive and he's swinging, and he's confident in swinging.
Interesting.
Um,
Mackie
so
style.
so I think the main thing that happens here is how badly does he lose to Armada to affect his mindset to Wobbles.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it will. Like Music King, usually when his mindset gets broken, it's not when he loses to someone he knows he's
Well,
expected to
what
lose
if it
to.
was like a 3-2 set and he like ends up SDing twice?
Yeah, what if? I think it'll be a 3-0 or 3-1 set.
I see. That's
And
fair.
he'll just kind of be like, oh, I lost.
Armada's too
That's it.
good.
I'm honest, too freaking good. Yeah,
Okay,
so
so you're going Mewtwo. It's
no. I'm not saying I'm going Music King
this
for
is
against
really hard.
Wobbles.
This is really hard. I actually don't know who to pick here.
I think it's 50-50. It's a pure 50-50.
Flip a coin. Okay, I'm thinking of a number. Odd or even.
49. Odd or even. I said odd, I guess.
Okay, I chose even. So, I said if
What
you're
does that determine to be?
okay, no, I already. Okay, not to say that I was predeterministic here. I said it. I was just gonna say the top. If you're right, pick the top one, and if you're wrong, pick the bottom one. And in my spreadsheet, Mewtwo is on top. So since you were wrong, we're going Wobbles.
Oh, okay, sure, whatever, man.
Yeah. All right, Plump, Westballs, or
I also
Mango.
think it's if I lean towards one winning the other between me taking Wobbles, I actually probably would lean Wobbles. I think because I still feel like Mewtwo is really weak in that matchup. So,
Yeah,
but it's like a 50.5, 49.5 lean. Like it's like the most.
It's a slightly dinged coin.
Yeah, it's a slight. Yeah, exactly. So what was the other one? Mango and.
The winner of Club Westballs.
Okay, so we already don't know who's gonna win with the Club of Westballs, but I'm saying Westballs will, and if assuming it's Mango, I'm gonna say, man, jeez, what Mango? If he loses H-Box, is in a rough spot. Like if you want, like I know everyone talks about losers Mango, but if you want Mango to win this tournament, he better beat H-Box.
Dude, imagine what that would do to him if he lost again. Like, that'd be 5 of 6. And, in this scenario, what if you got double eliminated by Hungrybox? Like, imagine like what kind of toll that would play on Mango.
Yeah. So, I think so. I think H-Box clearly beats either opponent if he ends up losing to Mango. So that's less interesting. If Mango goes down, jeez, and if Mango goes down and Plup wins, I think jeez, I think I gotta go Plup. I mean,
wait, you said Westballs was gonna win against Plup.
I know, no, but I'm saying I'm doing all the scenarios. If Plup wins, I'm assuming Plup's playing super well, so I probably will play Plup. And I'm assuming Mango's playing badly if he lost H-Box. And if Wes wins, then, jeez.
It's tough because for Wes, like, I know he whoops the Falco Ditto, and so in Mango's head, that's not going to even be a question to pick Falco.
He'll go Fox.
But, like, the Fox Falco hasn't really been in Wes's favor at all.
Yeah, I'd probably pick Mango against Wes. But, like, again, not super confident in it. That's like a 60-40.
It might actually be worse than that, given the Fox Falco.
No, I wouldn't call it worse than that.
In game counts,
it's bad.
It's pretty bad.
I mean, I guess sometimes we overestimate. Like, okay, he lost at Mayhem once or whatever. People naturally assume he's got his number.
But that pack set was pretty bad.
There's also the pack set, yeah. So yeah, it could happen, right?
So, gosh, it's tough to say. I mean, Uh, just
You make
pick.
a pick.
Um, I'm gonna just go mango.
You're saying that for against West Balls?
I'm just gonna say mango collectively gets
Collectively, sure, sure.
out of that losers quarters.
So then we have Muchi King question mark versus Mango question
Wait,
mark.
didn't we say Wobbles was gonna win that?
Sure, let's say Wobbles is gonna win
So
that.
it'd be Wobbles versus
Wobbles
mango.
Mango's crazy, man. Jeez, that's a hard one. That's a hard
Wait,
one.
are you kidding me?
You really think Mango's just gonna go train on him?
Yeah.
Just because he's been doing well? I don't know. I mean, like my assumption is if Wobbles has gotten this far, right, then he's probably playing pretty well.
Yeah.
And when Wobbles is playing pretty well, he is a terror on
Yeah.
Mango. It's when the Ice Climbers are playing very poorly that I feel like, sometimes we get those extraordinary lopsided results.
Yeah, but Wobbles has only beaten Mango once, and that was that one best of 3 set.
They don't have that many sets though.
They have a
not ever since Evo, right? Evo 2013.
That's true. But then we also look at other history of there's people that know how to play Ice Climbers, like people like Red, people like Milkman, people like Professor Pro.
Well, here's the thing though, Wobbles is low. So when we talk about Wobbles, we're talking about a guy who's ranked 30 some odd on MIM right now.
Yeah.
And I think that was actually a fair ranking, just because if you look at his results. But I think at the same, all the voters simultaneously knew, I'm sure if you asked them, that his actual skill level is near top 10 level, if not, in somewhere in the top 10.
Well, we gotta have our own separate discussion on that, because I kind of hate the notion of peak skill, because it's a subjective argument that you can't argue.
I don't think it's a peak skill argument for Wobbles. I think it's he was rusty because he took a year and a half break, and we got his second half of the year in 2015, and we don't really know where his skill level's at because he's not super active again. But now he's sponsored, and he's trying hard again. I fully expect by the end of the year he's gonna rack up more results like we're seeing this, and we're gonna see him in that top 10 pantheon like he belongs, frankly.
Yeah, not there right now though.
No. So I'm saying in terms of ranking, it's very confusing for people, but when I see it, it's not confusing at all because I know how good Wobbles was in 2013 and stuff when he was active. So
who finishes better this year, Wobbles or PP?
Oh, what a statement, dude! Why'd you have to? You cut right to it. Oh,
because these are two players that are actually kind of heading on different set of paths, right? How extreme do we go with Wobbles' upward trend? If we're trading stocks, right? You buy the stocks that are undervalued.
You'd buy the Wobble stock.
You sell the PPMD stocks. So it's actually an interesting dilemma because how far does PPMD drop in this case?
Well, big question is after this tournament, do you still call PP a top 6 player in the world?
The onus is on because Axe is also eliminated. It kind of brings question marks to Axe.
It sucks because Axe, this is such a bad result for Axe.
Yeah.
He literally just started off the year so strong, top 4s back to back with Genesis and PAX, and now here he completely busters out, and it's man, bro, this was. I think I made this comment earlier about West at What the Fox, right? Where he had an opportunity to break into the top 5. Because Axe was being talked similarly. He had 2 good, strong tournament performances in a row. If he keeps it up, then maybe we could start talking about replacing the bottom gods, with Axe, right?
Yeah.
But dude, he fell apart. And I don't think Wes and Plup have had a strong enough start of the year, unless they do extraordinary here.
Yeah.
To really justify it.
But here's the worrying trend for me, right? Because some people in the chat are saying, well, it's only one tournament. But the worrying trend is that PPMD has barely gone by, for the past 6 months, where it's narrow
and again,
scrape.
A lot of it's seeding, man. You look at those brackets, literally over the last year and a half to 2, he doesn't really beat many people, of the supposed his same skill level, right? It's a lot of it's dude, what if Westballs had the same bracket he had? Wouldn't Westballs also get that placing? Truly look at it, because. Remember, guys, double elimination bracket seeding skews it. The final result.
I agree, but I also have to add, he's winning 3-2. He's winning 2-1. And, you can say he won, but, game differential actually kind of is a telling statistic where like
Do you remember
Armada's.
that SFAT set that he had versus in Genesis?
Yeah, I mean, it was really close.
That was crazy.
Hugs went to last hit. And so I would be more convinced of this is just one tournament trend for PPMD had it not been so close for PPMD for such a long time. Like, if PPMD were winning, like, 2-0, 3-0 every set, then I would be a lot more comfortable and say, like, yeah, like, PPMD...
Plus, like, he just looks completely outclassed when he has been on the same stage as some other gods. Like, do you remember Mango versus PP in Genesis? Like... Goodness gracious, that was a slaughter. Now I know Mango was doing that to literally everyone up to
be fair,
up
that's
to Hbox, but it's still like you're God. You're not supposed to get outclassed like that.
Yeah.
You know.
He's 2-15 in his last. I mean, I always bring this up. 2-15 in his last 17 games against gods.
Yeah, and you look at his Evo. I mean, he got 0-6, right?
Did he win a game? No, he got 0-6. Yeah.
He got 0-6, man. So yeah, it's like he doesn't look like he is on the caliber of the other guys. Of course, a lot of that is due to shave and all that stuff.
I mean,
we're not talking about that. We're talking about purely where would you rank someone.
I mean, because the thing is, he's not passing the statistical argument, and he's not passing the eye test.
No, he's not. He looks like he's more on the level of, that next tier.
Like 7 through 9, which is not. I mean, I'm not like I don't think we're arguing and saying PPMD is like 20. Like we're just saying like he more belongs. I mean, if we're gonna put him 6, he's closer to 7 to 9 than he is to 1 to 5. I think is the point we're making, right?
Sure.
So given that, like,
I think that's actually pretty inarguable.
Yeah. And what was it? So to say that he goes lower than 6, it's hard to say, but it's getting close, and that line is becoming more and more hazy.
Well, also, I mean, it's really tough now because for that group in the 9, Axe, Plup, and Westballs, like, these guys are not doing each other any favors in terms of, like, standing out from each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who's the best out of those guys, right? Axe had a bad tournament, but he did good in the other ones. Wes and Plup, I would say their starts of the year have been relatively even-ish. Maybe Wes a little bit better. But, it depends on how they finish today. Or tomorrow, I guess. So
and then...
it's hard to say. Like, if usually when someone gets dethroned off, like, a top 6 perch, it's when someone else takes it from them. And what's frustrating is these guys have had a few opportunities to do just that. Like Axe would have, in my opinion, had he done well in this tournament. If he got another top 4 or 5 placement at this tournament, I think the argument is very clear that Axe is the 6th best in the world, right?
But in an alternate scenario, you put PPMD in Axe's slot. Does he make it out?
In that pool?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he lost to MacD.
I mean,
that's for sure.
Like,
he got 3-0'd by MacD too.
That's like the top.
And he would have definitely lost to Mango the way he was playing.
So it's like tough to say, and I think the point of substituting, like the replacement theory for basketball, right, where you say like if you replace an average level player with a star player, what's the difference, is equally applicable here.
Sure.
So Wobbles or Mango?
I'll just pick Mango because he, again, like you said, Wobbles has only beat him once. Let's not get too high on it, too high on him. And Mango is really good against ice climbers, so I'll pick Mango.
And then Hbox or Armada in winners.
Armada.
And then,
but it's very close.
It is.
Let's not pretend. Those are the 2 best players in the world, very clearly right now.
60-40 in Armada's favor.
65, but yeah.
65, yeah, it's about 2 to 1. Yeah. I think I would take those odds. Mango or Hungrybox in losers.
Mango or Hungrybox and losers. I mean, you gotta say Hbox just because of the recent results. But I think again, I would do like if I was on the spot trying to make a bet, I would look at how they're playing and then I would make the bet.
Yeah, that's fair because like you want to look at the horse before it runs.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some interesting topics that come up. So MacD, I'm not sure if he's talked to you, but he studied a lot with Kirby Kaze.
Interesting.
Prior to this, that's why he wore the KK tag.
That's sick.
And so it kind of looked, I don't know if you noticed, like he had more of a set game plan of what to look for. So like the reads beyond the reads, for example, like he'd do down smash and then he would cover the roll, or he'd read the jump. Like some stuff that I haven't seen MacD really do.
Interesting.
So MACD is now on the analyst train. Do you think that other people are going to try to start hoarding people like Cactar and KK?
So I saw a tweet earlier, and McCain just talked to me about it. That like McCain didn't even know that you have to hold forward to wave land off the platform. And like when I heard that, I was like, first of all, people have been knowing that since like 2002. Like that's one of the
Yeah.
that's pretty. It shocked me that a pro level player wouldn't know that. And you know, I hear a lot of like interesting misinformation and lack of knowledge from even the pros, just because Melee has so many intricacies
Yeah.
that it makes me think it's not just going to be an analyst train. I think it's going to be a coaching train. Um, you know, it's very clear that these guys would benefit a lot from having a dedicated personnel to help them analyze and break down their play
Yeah.
from a third party perspective. Because you know as well as I do, like watching some your own vids is helpful, but it's also sometimes really painful, right? Like most of the time when maybe you know it you know ego gets in the way and all that, but you watch it and you're just so disappointed with yourself. Like sometimes it's just as depressing as it is helpful, you know.
Dude, did you hear what Shroom said the other
What?
day? This is like
What?
the first time he's ever looked at his own matches.
No, it doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't.
For my own, for me, I've never looked at my own matches, and a lot of players don't look at their own matches. And I think coaches would help that a lot, and also just like you could just drill a player into like fixing and adding tech, right? Like if let's say your player doesn't know how to shield drop yet, be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And just like fix that. If their controllers are a problem, you're the coach, you're the manager, you get them a new controller, figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of like small things you would do that would help if you're like they had dedicated coaches. So I think we're a ways away from that. I hope we are at least, because I do like the whole gladiator thing we got going on. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, it helps.
I've been trying to suggest different things to MACD. For example, I tell him like, hey, you're not allowed to dash attack for like a day, or you're not allowed to use down smash for a day, so that he can discover other options and default into certain habits.
Sure.
But it's interesting. I don't know what 2016 holds. Hungrybox is kind of up ahead in the arms race, and I think he got a big boost from it.
If Acebox wins this tournament, it's huge.
Yeah.
Straight up.
We have to go back to the legacy talk of where HBox kind of fits if he keeps winning.
Yeah.
But I think the mark of a really good player is a guy that can win consecutive majors or super majors, and Hungrybox has yet to do that.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't win tournaments with like he usually doesn't win tournaments, right? He gets second most of the time, with a few exceptions of recent time, with DreamHack winner and PAX. So let's see if he can make a mark. I mean, he won PAX, he wins this, that's back to back.
Yeah.
So, and I think third at Genesis is very passable considering how it went, right? So
Yeah.
and then he won DreamHack before that. Like it's starting to shape up into a mini HBox era if he wins this.
I agree.
So
It'll bring in talks, right? Because like Hungrybox, even in his like very 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 short stint in like 2010 where he won Apex, like it was a very very short arguable point where like you could debate him being the best, and even then it doesn't really feel valid because we had Scorpion Mango and other things going on.
yeah, we had Mango play him in sets immediately after the tournament in some of the most depressing melee you'll ever see, and like destroying him really really hard even after the guy just won the tournament.
Oh my gosh,
So,
I feel so bad for Hungrybox.
did you see those in person? Because I did. Stream, if you guys don't know, so HBox won Apex 2010, and afterwards he was like super happy and all that, and Mango just said, hey, come over here and play friendly. I actually don't know how it was initiated, but they played friendlies afterwards, and it was like 3 stock after 3 stock, 3 stock. And this was when like Mango was entering his Mario and stuff, so he played, he was beating with everything. Like I think it wasn't just like his mains, he was going at everything, and it's really depressing to win a major, especially when you're on the come up like HBox was, and then just like have
Jeez.
Mango come here and destroy you for it right after with like a crowd watching.
Dude, I actually I wasn't at Apex 2010, so I actually didn't know that story. But isn't it sweeter now? I mean, I think revenge is all the sweet. In the case of Hungrybox, who
Oh yeah,
couldn't win like ever against Mango. It was like a really lopsided set count, and now he's up 4 of the last 5. I think
Yeah,
that's a really
yeah. It's I agree. I agree. He's probably over the moon with it. Like he probably doesn't believe it half of it. He's
yeah
like, what's going on? But yeah, for sure. And it's always been the thing that's stopping him. Like he had like positive records on everyone except Mango for very long periods of time,
yeah
right? So it's it's one of those maybe like a David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Karl Malone situation, where Hakeem won when Jordan wasn't in the league.
yeah
And it's like, dude, how well would those guys have really done if Jordan wasn't there to stop them?
yeah.
So
Oh no, I totally kept you in for like 50 minutes, and I think you had like 20.
yeah, I should go.
Alrighty.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys later. Remember to check out twitch.tv/South by Southwest Gaming. It's SXSW Gaming Esports. I think that's the Twitch link. Whatever it is, some mod probably knows it. And check out the top 8. It's going to be crazy.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Later.
Later. Peace. Bye.